We're going to talk Trevor Lawrence first. Zach Wilson going to the New York Jets.
Were you hyped that they drafted Trey Lance?
Yeah, so Justin Fields.
Mac Jones just looks like he's supposed to be on the Patriots. So
We got Kellen Mond.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is the first one. We got Pat Fryermuth. Let's go to the next one here. We got Hunter Long. All right, let's go into Kylen Granson. Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan, baby.
Hey.
Fuck that up. Oh, just a couple of big boys talking about fantasy. It is like my. That's what I go to when I can't think of something. Listen, we're talking.
At least it said big boys, not little boys.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I'm working on it. It's fantasy.
We're probably screened by the FBI for sure, dude.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, how many times have you said little boys? Like, FBI is just like monitoring our shit.
Listen, man.
They're on it, dude.
It's okay. It's okay.
Little boys. They're talking about these football players.
Listen, we're talking fantasy football. Are you here to listen to some fantasy football talk? Because we're here to give it to you. We're talking rookie quarterbacks, rookie tight ends. It's going to get freaking hot in here, right, Drewski? That's what I'm saying.
Last episode of the rookies.
Yeah, we're breaking down rookies. Rookies who make sense. What do we got? Top 5 for each?
Yeah. So we already went over the rookie running backs and the Wookie.
The rookie running
Should we even
backs.
talk about Kyle Pitts? All right, we will.
Yeah, we will.
We already went over the rookie wide receivers and the rookie running backs. So if you want to check those out, we already dropped those episodes. Just go into the YouTube and find that video because we went over those guys.
Or the podcast.
And we
for
dropped,
audio listeners.
We dropped some dumbfire knowledge on all those rookie wide receivers and rookie running backs that came into the league. Wookie.
Yeah, with that. Press the wrong slider.
Our song?
But yeah, let's just hop into it. We're going to go to quarterbacks first. I'll give you an idea of who's fantasy relevant and who is not. But yeah, mostly the people we think are going to be fantasy relevant this coming year. We'll talk a little bit dynasty too as well. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a rating on the Apple Podcast app. Do all that good stuff. Check out our Patreon if you want extra help for your fantasy football team this year. We got your back. I know it's a little bit early, but if you get in early, we get in. You get some extra stuff. You know what I mean? So go check that out too. Links down in the description below, whether it be podcast or anything. It's all down there. But yeah, let's fucking hop right into it.
And TikTok, dude.
Oh yeah, TikTok, Instagram, freaking all that. Go check that out. All those links are down in the description
below. Get on
below.
TikTok, dude. Your boy T's dropping some.
He's a content creator over here.
Dude,
He's a walking fucking flame because it's heat.
I'm an influencer, dude.
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
creator,
like,
dude.
We can't even go out in public anymore.
He's like fantastic. You ever seen Fantastic Four?
He's sometimes under the influence. He's such an influencer.
Yeah, I think I'm like the Kanye West of fantasy football is what I am.
Dude, you know about cameras.
You load up AVG's fucking TikTok page, and you just see Tyler, and he's like, flame on. Okay, swing and a miss. All right, let's go on to the fucking episode here, boys.
Let's do
it, baby.
Always with the John Cena, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't
see us.
By the way, if you want to see, we're doing a better job this year of being more consistent with our beer bets. So if you look up on
our number one improvement is the beer bet.
Yeah. On YouTube, we'll have all the beer bets that we make during the season. They will be listed scrolling across the screen. So you can check that out too if you want to fucking follow that a little bit. It'll be nice for you. I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and do it, baby.
Let's get it.
And if you're new and you don't know what a beer bet is, so if we have like a disagreement, we'll do a bet. We'll do a beer bet. So the loser has to drink a beer. So it's either you're right, which is a good thing, or you have to drink a beer,
which is also
a good thing. So,
but for bragging rights.
Yeah. But
yeah. And Anthony won't be participating because after his rehab stint, we just were like, we'll just give him like Sprite or something.
Yeah, what did he have? Is running rampant?
Yeah, it was running rampant.
Yeah, there it is.
It's alcoholism.
Yeah, it's there.
Got a little bit of the ism.
All right,
let's get into it. We're gonna talk Trevor Lawrence first.
All right.
I don't know what you guys think.
I have a hot take.
Okay, let's hear it. Trevor Lawrence. Let's hear it. Clemson quarterback goes to the Jaguars.
Tebow takes over after week 9.
Tebow takes it.
You want to talk about running rampant? Tebow mania is going to run like T. Higgins is right now. And the end zone is success, and he's going to find it.
By the way, there's a future bet for Tim Tebow. Side note is if Tim Tebow scores a touchdown or not.
He's going to score. He's going to score. What, week 1?
It's plus 1,500 or plus 15. It's something crazy.
Really?
It's like
he
15
might score
to 1,
week
bro.
1.
Wow, that's such a crazy line right there. You might have to take the
Yeah.
no.
You might have to take that over.
Yeah.
Because it's over there.
Honestly, I was kidding. I think he takes over by week 4, but I gave Trevor Lawrence an extra 4 weeks. Honestly, Trevor Lawrence is the man. He's the man. He's been the number 1 overall pick since he was coming out of high school. So, I mean, what else do you want me to say?
I mean, Sunshine. I mean, the movie Remember the Titans. If you've ever seen that movie, Sunshine, the quarterback for the Titans and Remember the Titans, that's literally what Trevor Lawrence looks like. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Dre said right here. I mean, the guy is probably the best quarterback prospect. Andrew Luck. Yeah, and then prior to that, I mean, I can't even really remember. I mean, maybe Jamarcus Russell, but
Bless his heart. Bless his goddamn heart.
But I mean, yeah, this guy's just a savage right here. I mean, I'm gonna be pretty high on Joe Burrow this year. I think Joe Burrow's a savage, but if it was Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence, I'm going Trevor Lawrence all day, every day. Yeah, it's just. If you're a Jaguars fan, it's been rough. It's kind of crazy. Because that 1 year with Blake Bortles, I can't even talk right now. Blake Bortles. I know, right? That 1 year with Blake Bortles, they make it to the AFC Championship game.
They should have
maybe solely on the Saxonville Jaguars defense that they had.
That team was.
But Trevor Lawrence is going to be the quarterback of the future. He's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguar for a long time. So, yeah, you should be pretty hyped if you're a Jaguars fan because, you got Trevor Lawrence, and then obviously, they draft Travis Etienne in the first round with him. I think that's just a great thing. You get Urban Meyer as well. So, as a Jags fan, things are definitely looking up. And you still got Minshew there, little Minshew mania as well. But, yeah, I definitely think having Etienne there for Trevor Lawrence is a good thing because, like I said, they have the chemistry from the days in Clemson. They already know, what to expect from one another. But like Dre said, Trevor Lawrence, one of the best prospects. And, Mike, you always say this, tall quarterbacks.
They just work, dude.
They just
Mike
work.
Glennon.
Except for him.
Trevor Lawrence.
Brock Osweiler.
Trevor Lawrence, 6'6". It's pretty tall.
Good,
and dude,
pretty tall.
Yeah, I said that as a joke, but in this scenario, I think it works. Baker Mayfield's pretty trash, and he's short.
You're tripping. You know what is crazy? How athletic he really is. Like, dude can run to what was it against like the semifinal game where he was just running all over the place on him.
And by the way, he's a man of God, from what I hear.
He married his high school crush.
I know
junior high dance.
We're kind of joking right now because there's not much to say. We can sit here and rattle off stats with Trevor Lawrence, but it's like,
Yeah, I mean it's beating a dead horse. Basically.
I think I'm gonna target Trevor Lawrence in a lot of my redraft leagues. His ADP is like 13. I mean, I think it's still, even though they're wide receiver talent. Like, does that scare you guys at all?
Nope. I got him in Dynasty this year. I'm fucking hyped.
Yeah.
I traded Darren Waller.
Oh, it doesn't scare me at all. I mean, they got some weapons. They go out and they signed Marvin Jones Jr., which I think is going to be a pretty good value. We saw DJ Chark with Minshew kind of, 2 years ago was really good. Last year is kind of battling some injuries, but still pretty solid. And then obviously Laviska Shenault coming into his second year. So, I mean, the guy's got some playmakers. And then obviously Travis Etienne out of the backfield can only help him, though. But like you were saying, Dre was saying, or Mike, you were saying right here, I mean, the guy's mobile. They run that RPO game a lot. And I'm assuming they're going to continue to run that RPO type of offense in the NFL with the Jaguars. But, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, the last 2 years, nine rushing touchdowns and 8 rushing touchdowns. So, not only does he get it done with his arm, one of the most accurate passers, big arm. He kind of has a little bit of Josh Allen in him to where he has that ability to run and utilize his legs and, find the end zone on the ground with his legs. And that's just, 6 points per rushing touchdown, especially if you're in a 4-point passing league. I mean, that's just money right there in the bank. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's one of those surefire, can't-miss kind of guys, I feel like.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not really big on pro day. I mean, it's cool to see, but it's all scripted. But it was more like seeing the ball come out of his hands is just crazy. He just spins that bitch. I can't wait to just see him play. Just not even as a football fan, not as a fantasy fan, but just playing football. I want to see how he does. If Justin Herbert can do what he did in his first game, fuck, man. I'm actually just excited to see how good he does.
Deshaun Watson came from Clemson.
Yep. But I'm just saying, yeah. Better like.
I wish we had that drop. I like Daddles.
I like Trevor Lawrence. Do you want to move on to the next guy? Is there anything else you want to say on Trevor Lawrence?
That's pretty much it right there.
That was 8 minutes too long.
Yeah. I think we got him at the 5-minute mark. But anyways, let's go on to Zach Wilson.
8 minutes too long.
Zach Wilson going to the New York Jets.
That is Zach Wilson on a different day.
Is this scaring you? As a Dolphins fan, are you scared? Are you nervous?
I'm not, but T's going to reassure you if you are.
Yeah, you got the wrong highlights up there, Mike.
No, that's what Trey Lance that's what Zach Wilson's going to turn into.
There you go. Attaboy. There you go.
Sorry. I just have them in order, and sometimes I click the wrong one.
All right, dude. That's what we're here for, dude. People helping people. That's what we do.
Audio listeners have no idea what we're talking about. Go check out YouTube if you want to watch highlights while we talk about all this.
Yeah. So Zach Wilson, I'll go in on him a little bit. As a Dolphins fan, the Jets are in our division. I definitely don't like seeing this guy in the division and kind of what the Jets are doing because I feel like the AFC East is going to be a pretty tough division going forward. I mean, you already have Josh Allen and the Bills. Make it to the AFC Championship game. As a Dolphins fan, I'm pretty big on Tua. Dolphins defense was pretty stout last year. I feel like they're on the up and up too. But then you get a couple rookie quarterbacks that come into the division as well with Zach Wilson, and then obviously Mac Jones. We'll touch on him later. But I mean, looking at Zach Wilson, I mean, I like what I see. I mean, the Jets, they hire Robert Saleh. Is that how you say it?
Robert Saleh
from the 49ers, the defensive coordinator over there. He brings over the passing game coordinator, Mike LaFleur. He brings over Mike LaFleur, who was the passing game coordinator from the 49ers, to become the offensive coordinator now for the for the Jets. So they're going to run that similar offense that the 49ers are running. And we've seen how efficient that offense could be. We've seen how good it is for the running backs, and we've also seen how efficient a quarterback could be in that type of offense with Kyle Shanahan. So, I'm kind of looking like, could this be Kyle Shanahan offense 2.0 or kind of like the Kroger good value home foods or whatever it's called?
Kroger,
yeah.
Kroger.
Great value.
Great value. That's
always,
what I was thinking.
Always a great value.
The great value version of Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Oh, yeah.
Off-brand, maybe.
Yeah. They've got some weapons, too. I mean, Jamison Crowder, they signed Corey Davis in free agency. They got Denzel Mims, who kind of reminds me of Devontae Parker. And they drafted Elijah Moore, who, to me, was probably the best overall route runner in the entire NFL draft. Actually, Elijah Moore's second most receptions in college football this year. One of my favorite rookie prospects. I think you feel the same way, Dre, about Elijah Moore. So, yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson, I think, got super talented. He's got some offense. And I think the biggest thing here is there's no Adam Gase.
That's literally all that actually matters.
I like this landing spot for him right here. It's hard for me to say because I am a Dolphins fan. And, and he's going to be in the division against me and my team at least. But, yeah, I like this landing spot for him. How do you feel about it?
No, I agree. I like whether it's football or fantasy or dynasty, whatever. I always like spots where, new coaching staff, new front. This is literally all new. They're all together. So the cohesiveness is going to be there. They're all in on him. I mean, fuck. They let go of Sam Darnold. He's the guy. New coach, like I said. They got all these rookies, second-year guys. They're young. They got Michael Carter also. So I think, and with Shanahan or LaFleur coming in, I think, like I said, they're just going to be able to just learn and grow together. So I like Zach Wilson. He's got a fucking cannon, but I like that he's a gamer on top of everything else. Like, he's ready. Like, I heard his little press conference where he's like, oh, I have to earn it, all that bullshit. But when you watch him play, I feel like he just talks shit. I mean, you saw the one where he hurdled over the dude and then knocked him over and stood over him. Like, yeah. I think he's perfect for New York. I'm rooting for him. I'm obviously a Niner fan, and I love Robert Saleh. So, but I think the Jets, I think they had a good draft. Don't be surprised. Like you said, the AFC East should be pretty competitive this year.
Do you think, would you take a chance on him in redraft leagues at all?
I would take him maybe as a backup.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking Zach Wilson as like a second.
Yeah, just in case, but he can slang that bitch.
Yeah, there's a couple other guys, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, he does his thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I like to draft. Majority of the times, I like to draft 2 quarterbacks, and I'll just play the matchup. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take maybe a shot, depending on who I get. You know, maybe I draft Zach Wilson, you know, in the later rounds as my second quarterback. And then, like I said, maybe I play the matchups. But, I mean, like Dre said, you know, they've kind of set him up for success with the weapons, you know, drafting Michael Carter, like you said, like it's, you know, the rookie running back out of North Carolina. If you want to really hear us go in on him, you know, like I said, we did that rookie episode where we went over all the rookie running backs. You know, but what they really did is they stacked up the offensive line. You know, they drafted Mekhi Beckham last year. They drafted another lineman in the first round this year. I think it was the guard or tackle from USC. So, you know, they're really just stacking up that offensive line to protect their investment in Zach Wilson. One thing I liked about him is just like his – I hate to say Mahomes or Rodgers because that's such a high praise, but like his throws of, you know, just – they're
angles.
So unorthodox, yeah. You know, he'll sidearm it, kind of Mahomes status, or he'll do an Aaron Rodgers type of throw where he's fading away and he'll throw it across his body, but like he'll throw like a dime, and it's kind of, you know, those throws are, they tell you don't throw that. You know, you don't make those throws, but his ability to make those throws is pretty good. And like you said, he's got the weapons. So yeah, I definitely like the upside of what this guy has right here. You did your dynasty draft recently, Dre. We didn't go over it with the Trevor Lawrence. You said you took Trevor Lawrence in the first round.
Yeah, I took
right?
Trevor Lawrence 1-9 in the 12-man. And I traded literally Darren Waller for that pick just to get him.
Yeah. And then what about Zach Wilson? What round did he go in?
He went in the second round.
Second round.
Yeah, he's a second rounder. I mean, but 12-man league, Trevor Lawrence, very rarely do you get a QB. And I would say that in the 4, we've had 4 rookie drafts now. I want to say he's only the second to go. In the first round. I think Kyler Murray went in the first round. I don't even know if Mahomes went in the first round in our draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, he was behind Alex Smith. Obviously, hindsight, he would have gone probably number 1 overall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, it's not very often in a 1 QB league in Dynasty.
Second round, you're in a 12-team
Dynasty, yep.
12-team Dynasty league. Okay, so Zach Wilson kind of gauging there. Mike, last time we were doing this, you were pulling up some of the
yeah, I'm trying to find one because this one isn't just rookies. So hold on.
Okay,
I'll tell you
for sure.
He said, "I'll
tell you, bro."
But second round, give or take. I mean, I guess it depends on your need. You know, if you're in a dynasty league and you're looking to really stack up on some players, or you need a quarterback potentially. You know, if you miss out on Trevor Lawrence, this would kind of be the next guy up.
Yeah, and he went 2. Fuck. If Trevor Lawrence, the generational talent, wasn't there, this dude really would have. Obviously, he would have went number 1. So
yeah,
he went number. It looks like he's on this. It's number 4. It went Lawrence, Fields, Lance, and then Wilson. And Wilson was 210.
So
second round, 10th pick.
Second round, 10th. Okay.
That's what I'm looking at. That's a fantasy football calculator.
Dude, sure. Fuck that calculator.
Okay.
All right, we can jump into your guy. We'll get the Niners over here. You're the Niner.
Trey Lance.
You're the residential Niner fan here. So how do you feel about that? Were you hyped that they drafted Trey Lance? Because there's a lot of kind of like talks. You know, could it be Trey Lance? Could it be Justin Fields? Are you happy with Trey Lance, or would you have preferred one of these other guys?
I wanted Justin Fields for sure. Not like dead set, but second, I like Trey Lance. I feel like Justin Fields is going to be like a Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Dude's a gamer. He's been there. He's obviously played a million primetime games, but with him, he's more uncertain, obviously, and then he didn't play last year. So that's it with him. But he's a crazy athlete. I got some stats here for you. We'll start with the running because obviously his one knock is for sure his accuracy. But Josh Allen is obviously the prime example of that. Small school, not a big sample size, talent, all that. But you could teach that. And the thing with him is all the execs fell in love with like his interview process. Like he loves football. So I feel like that coincides. Like he wants to be good. I'm sure he knows that his passing game isn't is his weak spot. Because in his college career, running wise, we'll talk about his strengths because obviously it's his passing. Like I said, he ran for 1,393 yards. 1,000 of them were on design carries. So he didn't scramble. He just got the yards and he took them.
As he trucks some guy
as he runs somebody over
on the highlights.
So it's not in that regard. But he also broke a tackle. He had 50 broken tackles on 153 carries. So dude runs like a running back, so he breaks a tackle every 3 carries. But this was the 7.3 yards per carry also. But this was the most interesting stat that I told Mike earlier. So his last full season that he played, which was with Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, all these guys, Justin Fields, he had a higher PFF passing grade when forced beyond his first read. So actually being able to read, he had an 86.6% PFF passing grade, which is better than Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and Justin Fields.
So his ability to go through his progressions, first read's not there. Let me go second, third progression.
Yeah. So
it's highly efficient.
Yeah, better than the number 1 generational talent. On top of his running, on top of everything he can do on the ground, running, like I said, 18 rushing touchdowns, 7.3 yards a carry. The whole level of competition is obviously why, but the fact that Shanahan took him is, all you really need. All you need is one guy to fall in love with you, and his running ability is crazy. I watched this story where John Lynch said they went to go watch Justin Fields, him and Shanahan, and they were talking on the plane how good it was, and then 2 seconds later, Shanahan starts drawing up plays for Lynch, and he shows them to him, and he's like, look how good this play is going to be, and he's like, what? He's like, for Trey Lance, and he's like, we just left Justin Fields' pro day, and you're talking about Trey Lance? He's like, yeah. Like, that's how much he loves him.
Yeah.
That the minute they got done watching Justin Fields' pro day, which was amazing, he's still drawing plays up for Trey Lance on the plane.
Yeah. One thing I remember seeing is it was a stat at ESPN or something like that. They're talking about the highest percentage of passes outside of the pocket, or like design plays where the quarterback, bootlegs or runs out of the pocket, rollouts. And the Niners were like the top of the list. And then they were talking about who's one of the quarterbacks that could do something like that, and it was Trey Lance. So, you're talking about how him drawing up plays.
Yeah, he's already
for him right there. Like you said, the guy's highly mobile, and I think the accuracy is the thing that is probably his biggest knack or his biggest knock on him right now. But I think he's a guy where maybe he sits a year because they still have Jimmy G. So I think Jimmy G still is going to be the guy for this year at least. Honestly, if I'm the Niners, I let him sit 1 year, let him learn the offense, let him learn the playbook. Sometimes you throw these rookies into the fire too soon, and if they're not efficient or effective, it could really hinder their confidence, and they can kind of get in their own head sometimes. So
or they could tear their ACL like Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that too. But so yeah, in terms of redraft, obviously I'm probably not targeting him, but in dynasty wise, how do you feel about him over here?
Man, I think sky's the limit. He's just going. The fact that he's going to a place where someone wants him that bad, I think it's going to take. I think Jimmy G's leash isn't on a short, but it ain't. It's if they're 2-2, like it could be one of those. Well, Fitzmagic was different. They shouldn't have really actually pulled him because they were winning. But let Jimmy G have maybe lose a game or two and then have a bad half, and be shitty. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, just because he's so athletic. He gives such a different dynamic to the offense. Like the RPO, no one's fucking respecting Jimmy G to run the ball. He's had high ankle sprains and a torn ACL. Like, ain't nobody giving a fuck about him. I'll actually let him keep it. I'll fucking chase him down. So and then you got this dude who literally can run. He's like a Cam Newton, Josh Allen, which I have seen, but he's got that type of body, that type of size. And he's just as athletic as Justin Fields. He's just more raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, ain't nobody respecting Jimmy G in the RPO. And then you got him. Would you rather have Jimmy G or my man doing that?
Yeah. Well, what round did he go in the dynasty draft?
He went in the dude. Actually, I have it right here. So actually, Zach Wilson actually went in the 3rd round. Trey Lance went in the 2nd round. Trey Lance went 2-11.
It's pretty close.
Zach Wilson went 3-7.
Oh wow.
But yeah, Trey Lance went 2-11, and then Justin Fields went 2-3.
So Justin Fields was the second quarterback after
I took Lawrence at 1-9.
Yeah, Trey Lance is 209 on this chart I have here.
Ooh, 211.
209, 211. Actually,
I took Nico Collins at 2-9.
I'll tell you how close you were on the next one too.
All right, let's get
later.
Yeah, so we just jump right into that.
Yeah.
So you said Justin Fields was the second quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so Justin Fields. So on this fantasy football calculator, it's still hard because this isn't registering a lot of drafts. but it is the 204 spot. So
damn, bro, we're
pretty close.
on it,
203 was in your draft, so that is pretty. This is all rookie drafts, by the way. This isn't if you're starting a dynasty league this year. It's a little bit different if you're combining. But yeah,
our league is on it though.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny how you kind of said it a little bit before we actually got to Justin Fields, but you're talking about Justin Fields as being kind of like a Deshaun Watson. What do I have right here?
Deshaun Watson 2.0.
Deshaun Watson 2.0.
And we didn't.
It's literally because, just watching his film and his tape, that's kind of what he reminds me of. Sometimes it doesn't look like the, prototypical quarterback that, sits in the pocket. He's rolling out, he's doing things, but he's making plays happen. And, the guy's a gamer. I mean, if you saw that game against Clemson where he got blasted and I can't remember, he hurt his neck or his back or something like that. And you're thinking is this guy even going to be able to come back in the game? I mean, he came back in the game. He threw 6 touchdowns. So, I mean, the guy's just got moxie. He's a gamer, big arm. I mean, he's got a laser.
Ran a 4.40.
It's like the Bears messed up drafting Trubisky over Watson and Mahomes, but I think they got this one right at least.
Yeah, I think so
They
too.
traded up to get him, and I think they got their guy. So, yeah, I like Justin Fields. He's one of my guys. I think if I was the Niners, obviously we weren't there to see the workouts and interview them and go through the whole process. But for me personally, I probably would have taken Justin Fields over Trey Lance just because, he's been in those big games. He's played against, top-tier competition. I think one of the things with Trey Lance is, he's
hasn't seen it.
He hasn't seen it. North Dakota State isn't playing against the top-tier guys. So it's kind of, the guy's a gamer. Trey Lance is good. But he's played against, I don't want to say the second-tier level of college players, but in a sense, the second-tier level.
Like third tier.
Yeah.
They're not mid-majors.
But, yeah, I like Justin Fields over here. I think one thing is this. Matt Nagy could be the next Adam Gase, and Justin Fields is going to determine that or not. Either Justin Fields balls out and saves Matt Nagy's ass, or Justin Fields struggles and Matt Nagy is Adam Gase 2.0.
Yeah,
because, Matt Nagy's supposed to be this offensive genius from the Chiefs. He couldn't get it done with Trubisky. We'll give him a pass because it's Trubisky, but, I think Justin Fields is talented enough to get it done.
Yeah.
You have Allen Robinson. One of the guys that I'm going to be big on this year, and I know, Dre, you'll probably agree with me on this one right here, is Darnell Mooney. I think is going to be explosive this year.
He should have had 8 or 9 tugs last year.
Join this segment, buy the dip. Check it out. Darnell Mooney, I think, is going to help Justin Fields. You got Cole Kmet. I think Jimmy Graham is still there for at least one more year.
Cole Kmet's going to do well, too, though.
You get Treat Cohen coming back off the knee injury as well. So, he's got some weapons there. And then Justin Fields mobile, so he offers that, that ground game, the ability to rush as well. So, yeah, I like this pick right here for the Bears.
Yep.
I like it. I'm hoping that the Bears don't get hurt. I don't think Matt Nagy's as bad as Adam Gase. I get the comparison, but
nobody is.
But yeah, I think it will pan out well because when Mitch Trubisky turned it up, he did have some good games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. For
so it's
sure.
like when he played well, it was So yeah, I'm with you. Let's go on to Mac Jones.
Who?
Mac Jones.
Return of the Mac.
Jones.
Return of the Mac.
Dude, I'm like kind of like a Belichick believer. I still think Belichick is. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of split. Was it Tom Brady or Belichick that kind of created the dynasty in New England? I still think Belichick's gonna be able to make stuff happen with Mac Jones there. I like Mac Jones going to the Patriots.
I mean, that's where you heard. I'm sure the stories where that's where he wanted to go the whole time. He kept saying that's where he wanted to go. So, I mean, I like Mac Jones. I just didn't. You know what? I wanted the athlete. I mean, that's I'm rooting for him. The thing that I like the best about him is that he sat in an era where kids can just fucking transfer and go wherever they want if they don't play. I like the fact that he sat his turn and waited for 3 years, didn't bitch. Had 2 guys play over him, and then he had 1 year to fucking perform, and he balled. I mean, character-wise, that's what I like. He didn't bitch. He just waited his turn, and he went to the Patriots. I mean, I feel like he's almost like when Gordon Hayward went to the Jazz. You're like, of course he went to the Jazz. He literally just looks like he would go to the Jazz.
Yeah.
Mac Jones just looks like he's supposed to be on the Patriots. So,
yeah.
good. I mean, yeah, good for him. He's got Cam Newton, but
Yeah, I think he's like
scary
like,
accurate. So
I think he's like one of those game managers. It's like whatever Belichick has him do, like he'll be able to get it done. It's not going to be like fancy. It's not going to be these crazy, runs or whatever. But he'll still be able to make like simple passes. And yeah,
he'll listen.
Lose track.
He'll listen.
But yeah, that's what I mean, and that's what Belichick likes. He just likes a guy who just does whatever the fuck he says.
And I'm sure he talked to Saban. He used to coach. They used to coach together back in the day.
Sure,
so I'm sure they had a lot of talks about Mac Jones. I mean,
would you draft? Do you like him in Dynasty, or how you feeling about?
I mean, given the fact that I took Trevor Lawrence, fuck no.
Right.
But I think he might have still gotten drafted. Yeah. So he went 310.
Okay. Yeah, I have him at 307 here. Third round 7th pick. You have a 3rd round 10th pick in yours.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, I think the AFC East is going to be one of the better divisions for sure for the next couple of years, for the foreseeable future. I mean, as a Dolphins fan, I hate the Zach Wilson pick. It's not good, and then you got Josh Allen with the Bills, like I said, and then Mac Jones, like Dre's saying, he just looks like this is where he's supposed to go, and
yep.
I guess my point earlier is it seems like Cam Newton didn't really fit in New England. It didn't seem like.
Yeah, it's just
and
a different
Mac
style
Jones,
of offense.
And he just
even Josh was it Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator? Like they basically have one offense for what Tom Brady does, and then he basically had to cater a whole new offense
on a short
for
season
what Cam Newton is or what Cam Newton
yeah,
does. Cam Newton will probably be the quarterback. I think the Patriots know that they're probably not going to be a Super Bowl contender this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Mac Jones sit out the entire year and really just learn the whole time. And then maybe towards the tail end, maybe he gets like a couple starts. But I wouldn't expect Mac Jones to be playing at all anytime soon. I think Cam Newton will be the guy for majority of the year. But this will be his last year. But, I mean, Mac Jones, 4,500 passing yards in college. He led all of college football in that passing. This is crazy right here. 41 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. That is an insane, insane touchdown to interception ratio right there.
10-1.
And I guess it doesn't hurt to have, the Heisman winner Devontae Smith. He had Waddle for a couple games until he got hurt, and then Mechie, the other receiver for Alabama, who's probably going to be
another first-round pick.
Yeah, another first-round pick next year or the year after that. But Mac Jones, more of a traditional pocket passer. Not a guy who's highly mobile, but a Tom Brady, I guess you could say. I don't want to say Tom Brady because there's only one fucking Tom fucking Brady. But, not a Cam Newton in a sense. More of a traditional pocket passer like how Tom Brady was. Not a Cam Newton. Not a mobile quarterback who can't throw the ball more than 10 yards is what Cam Newton is now. I feel like
I'm rooting for him this year because short season and all this. Hopefully he can do better than what he looked like because he looked like all those hype videos he made about him being a dog. Yeah, he was more like a puppy.
Bonani.
He was a puppy.
Yeah, maybe Mac Jones is like a Drew Bledsoe.
I feel like Shanahan thought he was like a Matt Ryan because he wanted him so bad. I feel like that's what he sees. Like, let me just get this drop back.
I was looking at him thinking like Matt Ryan too earlier. I was going to write that down as a comparison. But the guys, obviously, like I said, when you have that talent, Alabama's always got top tier talent. They went undefeated. They got good linemen, good running backs, Najee Harris. They got good receivers. 2 went in the top. They've had 6-7 picks or whatever it was.
They've had 3 first-rounders in 2 years.
Yeah, so it's like Alabama's top-tier talent. But at the end of the day, he still has to go through the reads, make the progressions, and throw the football to these guys. And, 41 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 77% completion percentage.
That's crazy.
That's pretty impressive. I don't care at what level you're doing it at. That's pretty impressive. So, really good. Like I said, it sucks because I'm a Dolphins fan, and I feel like Miami's finally on the up and up. You get these young quarterbacks, Mac Jones and Zach Wilson, coming into the division. Along with Josh Allen, who arguably was one of the best quarterbacks last year.
All right, let's go on to the next and last quarterback we'll talk about here. We got Kellen Mond. Is that pronounced correctly or what? Kellen Mond goes to the Minnesota Vikings. You're gonna have to enlighten me here. So the only thing I have in relation with Kellen Mond is that I have a purple hat on and he's on a purple team.
So I like Kellen Mond here. I think the guy's, he's raw, but the upside and the potential he has is through the roof. He reminds me of Colin Kaepernick, and I know Kaepernick hasn't been in the league for a while. I think he pretty much got
Exiled.
86, exiled because of the whole knee thing and all that bullshit. Arguably Kaepernick should have been in the league. Kaepernick's better than 90%
He's better,
of the quarterbacks that are in there. At least to be a backup, minimum.
He's
minimum
better than
backup.
Nathan Peterman, who threw 75 interceptions in one quarter.
For sure, yeah. So,
Bro, don't fucking talk shit about.
But that's what
like
Kellen
that.
Mond reminds me of. He reminds me of a Kaepernick 2.0, a guy who's got potential like that. And one thing I was looking at the deal for Kirk Cousins here. So Kirk Cousins is due $21 million this year. Not too bad for a starting quarterback when you look at some of these prices. Next year, though, Kirk Cousins is due $35 million in his final year of his contract.
Yeah, no.
That's a lot of money. After that, Kirk Cousins is going to want $40+ million probably. Dak's getting $40 million almost. What Deshaun Watson's getting $40 million. Mahomes is getting like $50 million. So Kirk Cousins is going to want a hefty payday, and we'll see if the Vikings are willing to pay him that. Or if they'll have the cap space. Or maybe potentially they let him go and, hey, Kellen Mond is the guy after, you let him sit for 2 years, behind Kirk Cousins. And then, year 3, it's the Kellen Mond show there in Minnesota. So I like the potential and the opportunity that he has there.
No, I agree. Before the draft, I was telling people I thought the Washington football team, I thought that was a perfect spot because, I think he just needs a year to sit. Yeah. Kaepernick's good. He's like a Russell Wilson to me. Just a guy who's not crazy big. Like ability or like physicality wise, but dude just, I think it's because A&M had so many games like on TV where I got to see him. Like, dude, just another one. He's just a gamer, but he's really like, he's really like committed to improving, his craft of being a quarterback. Like some guys like, I'm good, I'm gonna get drafted. Like I watched him just get better and better, and he played in. Granted, the Big 12 doesn't have that great a defense, but as a passer, he looks good, which is why he's more raw. So I think he needs a year, but he went to a great landing spot, like you said, where he can sit a year, learn how to be a pro, and then ain't nobody trying to pay Kirk Cousins $35 million. The only way he gets that is if they win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. I think I think Cousins is there for 2 more years. They probably pay him the $35 million, not this year, but next year. But after that, Cousins is going to demand at least another $35 million a year deal.
That's funny you said that. You said Cousins, and the dude who caught that was Christian Kirk. We didn't plan that, but
so like I said, in a couple of years, maybe this is the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. So you're obviously not drafting him in redraft leagues, but in dynasty purposes, I wouldn't be mind taking a shot at him. Obviously, this quarterback class is deep. You got Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Lance, and Mac Jones. Those guys.
Yeah, he's undrafted.
Sooner are going to have an impact in the league, but a guy who I'm guessing went in the 4th round.
He went undrafted actually.
I would hold on to him. Maybe
this one here.
Maybe you don't even have to hold on to him because maybe he's a free agent for this year. Maybe you swoop him up next year because Kirk Cousins is, like I said, is probably still going to be the guy there.
Yeah, obviously forbid you never want a guy to get injured, but if he does get hurt, Kellen Mond's for sure going to go in there.
Yeah,
and you never know.
I think we both can agree. We just like the upside and potential.
Could he be like a Dak Prescott? Like someone gets hurt, comes in, same colors, different school, same colors.
Yeah,
different school.
Just some upside there.
All right, that's it on the quarterbacks. I got that right? I didn't mess this one up this time.
Well, it says tight ends over Kellen Mond, but we don't really care.
No, it doesn't say it for the listeners. That's just on your screen, but Well, now it does.
Well, it's in Spanish.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Oh.
We're going to go into the tight ends.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is the first one. If you listen to the Julio Jones trade episode, we talked about Kyle Pitts a little bit, but let's talk about him a little bit more.
Let's go.
What do you boys think? He's a Gator.
He went 4th overall. Julio Jones is gone. He's going to get targets. Dude's a freak. Shit. That's pretty much it, Couch. Oh, yeah. And he had, like I said in the last episode, he had the longest wingspan of any receiver tight end ever. I can't wait to watch him play. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah. When we broke down the Julio Jones trade and kind of like the domino effect it had on like the Titans offense and then the Falcons offense, we went over all the players and stuff like that. We were kind of breaking down Kyle Pitts. Anthony had a nice little hashtag interesting stat. He said, how many rookie tight ends had over 600 receiving yards in the last like 20 or 30 years. I can't remember what it was.
I think it was 30.
It hadn't been 30 because Mike Ditka was in there.
Yeah.
Maybe 40 years.
It might have been.
It might have been 50 years, Coach.
Maybe ever.
Anthony might have
Ever,
made this stat up.
Well, there was only like 2 rookie tight ends who had ever had over 600 receiving yards. But then we kind of argued how Kyle Pitts is not just a regular tight end. I mean, this guy is a unicorn. I mean, he's a receiver / tight end. You know, he can line up on the line. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. And I dare to kind of compare him to Megatron. I mean, kind of same height, same size. Just a guy where, like I was saying before on that other episode, you know, even when he's not open, he's open. Which doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. Because, I mean, the guy is just – he has that ability to, you know, box out. He's big enough to box out the smaller DBs. You know, he's bigger than linebackers. And, you know, he can jump through the roof. I mean, he's fast. He's just, this guy is just a unicorn, a freak athlete. 12 touchdowns last year, so no Julio Jones over there. I mean, I know we all weren't pretty high on Matt Ryan, but, I mean, one thing Matt Ryan did do was, you know, he was pretty consistent at, you know, 10 straight years of throwing over 4,000 yards. So, you know, like Anthony always says, you know, you want to take the piece of the pie of, you know, how that kind of gets divvied up. And, you know, obviously Calvin Ridley's going to eat and he's going to get his, but, you know, Russell Gage, you know, we went on him too as well. But I think Kyle Pitts is going to be, you know, I mean, I don't know. The guy's just a freak athlete. So, you know, does he break over 600 receiving yards? I think so. I think we all kind of banked around 800 yards. I think it's kind of what we were all thinking.
Yeah, that's a good number.
But, I mean, yeah, the guy's a freak athlete. I mean, obviously, you don't just get rid of Julio Jones if you don't have, like, a contingency plan. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Contingency plan or a backup plan or whatever. You know, and obviously, once they got Kyle Pitts, they were thinking, like, okay, like, yeah, we can kind of – I hate saying fill that void of what Julio Jones was, but we can kind of fill that void in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I didn't mention last segment was I had read something where they said when he did his pro day, when they look at all these players' frame as far as, like, how their body can develop. They said his frame, he can add another 10 to 15 pounds, which is crazy. Dude's already a freak. If he can maintain that speed, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how good he is. I mean, it's weird. I don't see him flopping because dude is just so fucking good.
He could be Calvin Johnson 2.0.
Yeah, like, dude, he really could be a receiver.
If you're doing a dynasty league, I would say
he went.
I actually
had the 5 pick, and a dude traded me to get the 5 pick, and I traded back to 7, and he took Kyle Pitts with 5.
Yeah,
behind the big 4 that you can name, the 3 running backs and Jamar Chase. Yeah. So he went before Devontae Smith and everybody else.
Yeah.
So
a little bit more longevity, possibly.
Yeah, in redraft leagues too. You're drafting this guy right here because I think we all agreed to when we broke it down that he'll probably be a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, depending on where I don't know. I could see a situation where his ADP just kind of even in redraft leagues goes up.
Yeah, he can be like I'd say by the end of mini camp, like 7th round, 8th round, which is what which is right around there, I guess. Like.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Kelsey Kittle will already be gone. Hawkinson will be gone. Waller will be gone. Andrews will be gone.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I like getting tight ends late anyways. If he stays around the ninth round, I'm all about it, which is where he's at right now.
What if he gets that wide receiver tight end label? I mean, Waller, I saw you put Waller. He was a wide receiver tight end when he first got into, like, fantasy, like, got into the league because they couldn't fucking tell what he was.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the guy's a unicorn.
Okay, let's go on to not unicorn tight ends. We got Pat Freiermuth goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's more of a traditional tight end here.
Nickname.
He's nicknamed Mini Gronk or Baby
Gronk.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kyle Pitts wasn't in this draft, he would get a lot more hype. So I think that's.
Yeah.
I was hyped that he went to the Steelers, but yeah, he would get a lot more love if Kyle Pitts wasn't so goddamn talked about.
So he stays in Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure he's from Pennsylvania too, which is cool. So I'm sure he's like hyped to play in Pittsburgh. Went to Penn State. I think he's good. The hard part here is that Eric Ebron is still on the Steelers right now.
Yeah.
And on the depth chart, he's listed as number 1. But the way Eric Ebron was catching balls last year, I mean, fuck, dude. I'd rather as a Steelers fan, I'd rather watch see what we got with Pat Freiermuth, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
in redraft
solid.
leagues, I don't know.
Yeah, nah.
I'm not going to, but dynasty leagues, I think it's sneaky. You know, if you don't have that 4th pick or whatever for your rookie draft, I'm not mad at it. Grabbing Pat Freiermuth. Where did he go in your dynasty league?
He went 210. He went right in front of Trey Lance.
Yeah, like you were saying. I mean, in redraft leagues, you're not drafting him. I mean, they have 3 really good receivers over there, plus Ebron. So I mean, the guy's 5th in the pecking order.
And now they got like Najee Harris too. So it's like.
But in terms of dynasty and going forward, like you said, Ebron's there, but Ebron will be a free agent after this year. You know, and if they're gonna spend that high of a draft capital to get him, just means to me, at least in my opinion, that they're going to move on from Ebron after this year.
For sure.
Obviously, Vance didn't work out. Ebron, he's been all right last year. We'll see what he does this year. But I think this guy's the future of the tight end position for him. And, like I said, more of a traditional tight end. Kyle Pitts, kind of a hybrid tight end, wide receiver, can line up outside, all that stuff. This guy's a tight end. He's going to be on the line. He's going to be able to block. He's not going to really leave the field because, he can block, but he can catch. One thing I liked about this guy is really good hands. I mean, the guy's, for as big as he is, 6'5", 260. I mean, that's a big dude right there.
Doesn't move like it.
Yeah, good hands. And when he got the ball, when he's in space, he was tough to tackle. So I like this pick. When you think about the Steelers of what they are, I always think of, like, tough, hard-nosed.
Like Heath Miller.
I was just about to say, he's like a better, more athletic
Heath Miller,
Or
so I think
Jesse
he just
James.
fits.
Yeah, Jesse
I think he
James.
just fits what that Steeler stigma is. Just like a hard, roughneck kind of tough guy.
blue collar.
Blue collar,
Yeah, blue collar. So I think it was a good, great landing spot.
Yeah, he's a big
for him
boy.
here. I think going forward, like I said, for Dynasty, I really like this pick for Dynasty.
Yeah. All
I
right.
dig it.
Let's go to the next one. Here we got Hunter Long.
Oh, I see you picking him up. I was going to talk
Hunter
about.
Long
I wasn't
from Boston College.
I see you, T, sneaking a bit.
Goes to the Miami Dolphins.
No, so for those that don't know, T's like, yo, send me a list, like 4 or 5 guys. And I actually sent him 5. And I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have sent him the last guy because, And then he throws in Hunter Long for the Dolphins. So we got another guy. I fuck with Hunter Long, too. Same thing, traditional tight end. But a lot of people had him ranked higher than Freiermuth, whatever the fuck. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So the reason I threw him in here is because I'm always looking at like the contracts. When's a player going to be a free agent? Like I said, maybe Freiermuth or whatever, however you pronounce it. We got to come up with a better nickname for that guy.
I think it's just Freiermuth.
Baby
Freiermuth.
Gronk.
Baby Gronk, whatever, from the Steelers. Ebron's going to be a free agent next year, so I highly doubt they re-sign Ebron for $6, $7, $8 million, whatever he's going to want. That's why you drafted this young kid to kind of be the next tight end for the franchise going forward. So, just looking at the contract situation for the Miami Dolphins over there, you got Smythe and you got Shaheen, I can't even pronounce it, but those guys are nobodies. I hate to say nobodies, but they're not fantasy relevant players. One of those guys is going to be a free agent after this year. The other players signed for like 2 more years. But like I said, they're kind of just like inline blockers. They'll catch a couple passes here and there. But the main tight end over there for the Dolphins is Mike Gesicki, who's, we kind of saw him last year. I think we kind of called it, that he could lead the Dolphins in touchdown catches there. He actually did lead the Dolphins in touchdown catches. But Mike Gesicki's going to be a free agent after this season. And, if he has another season like he did last year or even a better season than what he did last year, my guy Gesicki's going to want $7, $8, $9, $10 million per year in a sense. And I don't think the Dolphins are going to be willing to pay him that. So to me, this is kind of them drafting Gesicki's replacement. Hunter Long, he led all of college tight ends in receptions last year. I think it was 57. Receptions. But, one thing I liked about him, he lined up in the slot. So, he wasn't just like lined up inside. He was actually lining up as a receiver in the slot as well. Kind of what Gesicki does right there. So, yeah, in my honest opinion, as a Dolphins fan, I think this is Mike Gesicki's replacement. I think this is the last year Gesicki's on the Dolphins. I said it kind of.
Where's he going, T?
I said it jokingly off air, but you heard it here first. Clip it right here, 48-48 on the podcast. Mike Gesicki will be a Jacksonville Jaguar next year.
And you know why?
Because of Urban Meyer.
Because the Penn State or the Jags tight end coach is the old Penn State's tight end coach. And where did he go?
Penn State.
Penn State.
Couch. But yeah, no, I like Hunter Long. I think this is obviously redraft leagues. You're not drafting him there because, like I said, you got Gesicki and these other guys. But I think 2-3 years from now, I mean, could Hunter Long be the main tight end for the Miami Dolphins? 100%. So
No, long shot.
maybe take a long shot like that one. Yeah.
I like it.
I'm
No,
gonna.
good
You can
call.
have him in Dynasty. We're doing our Dynasty League draft.
No,
I'll
good
let you
call.
grab him.
I'm going for Gesicki, dude. Wait till Gesicki goes to the Jags with Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
It's over.
it's A. I have them both in Dynasty. I fucking
It's
pray. I
over.
pray to God
You know
that
what it is?
Gesicki goes to the Jags.
You know what it is?
bro.
It's like COVID.
It's over.
It's
COVID is over.
I dig it.
All right, let's go into Kylen Granson.
Man.
Goes to the Indianapolis Colts.
This is more one of my dudes. Yeah. So small school SMU, but with him, it's I don't want to say George Kittle, but I mean he's like same kind of like late round. I want to say same round, 4th or 5th round, just like Kittle went. But I like him because with tight ends, it's more you have to get him used to like the blocking and this and that. Like, you know, the physicality. This dude loves to block. Like, he actually likes blocking more than going out and lining up wide, which is kind of why he kind of reminds me of Kittle, because you see all those videos of Kittle just pancaking dudes and just laughing like that. And he went to a perfect landing spot with the Colts. The Colts don't really have shit. They have like Trey Burton, who hasn't done anything. And then you got
Yeah, Jack Doyle.
Jack Doyle, who
Still
I mean,
there for 2 years. And
So-
then you got Mo Alley Cox.
So who's been there? All these guys have been there. This guy, he does have to sit a year, I'd say probably, but I like his upside. He's athletic. But like I said, the most important thing is I like that he's physical. He likes to get his hands dirty and he likes to block. His downside is his size. Not the biggest guy, but yeah. I did see a couple interviews with him on the NFL Network too. That's probably why I like him a little more. He's a confident dude. He likes to talk that shit, and I mean, he loves football. I'm about it. And decent draft stock for a tight end, 4th round, especially at a small school. I'll take it.
He kind of reminds me of Ryan Stevenson.
Who?
Exactly.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I'm just kidding. I just made up a name, and you were like, "Who?"
Did you
and
say
I was
Ryan or Brian?
I said Ryan Stevenson.
Oh,
and I said, and you said who? And I said
I
exactly.
thought you said Brian or Ryan Steamwood.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh well, yeah.
No. I'm just.
In
I'm just
redraft
playing.
leagues, not someone to target, but just someone to keep an eye out on who could
possibly
pop.
take over.
Yeah, year 2. Just
Yeah. You are the tight end whisperer. I will say that.
that's-
You do seem to finesse tight ends in your dynasty
I'm
leagues.
gonna finesse on a couple more.
Yeah. So
That's why I didn't talk about a couple more. Just
if you're feeling skeptical
They
about
listen.
Dre on his tight end research is quite impressive sometimes.
tight ends and poopers.
Okay, let's go on to the second to last one. We got how do I pronounce this? Brevin Jordan.
Brevin Jordan.
Brevin Jordan, baby.
Hey, from Vegas, dog.
Goes to the Houston Texans. This is kind of a big question mark. Do we have any news on Deshaun Watson?
Other than Kareem Jackson saying he wants to go to the Broncos, but who the fuck knows if that's true. But no, another tight end. I mean, good landing spot. Like I said, went to Miami, Bishop Gorman High School, obviously here in Vegas. But another good landing spot. He slipped too. He was like a 2nd, 3rd round talent. I like him. I know it's kind of weird, but he reminds me of like a Jordan Reed. I mean, obviously he went to Miami, Jordan Reed, Florida, but they're built literally kind of the same. Like one of those like tweener tight ends who's more athletic, who can kind of bulk up, but I think he's a mismatch problem. I mean, if Deshaun Watson's there for sure, but I dig it. Landing spot, like I said, a lot of tight ends don't go to good spots.
I would say normally that like tight ends don't seem to be super like fantasy relevant in Houston, but the difference is now there's a whole new coaching staff change and everything. So
You have Jordan
I kinda like
Akins and what like I don't even think Darren Fells is there anymore. I think he's gone.
it
So
was like what was it? Deontay Foreman?
no, he's a running back. No,
Or
it's Jordan Akins.
No.
It was Akins and Phils.
Fells,
Okay, that's
Darren
right.
Fells. So his path to starting is not like path to least resistance. He could easily outplay those guys. I mean, Jordan Akins they've literally tried to give him the job, and they gave it to Darren Fells, who's like 50 years old. So they need athletes. They don't have much. I mean, if Deshaun Watson leaves, they have like Brandon Cooks. I mean, they don't have anybody. They took Nico Collins,
Yeah, and Brandon Cooks, like you said, might not be there in a year or two. He might not be there. So
he's someone who could step into like an immediate role and do some good for that team. I mean,
the Texans are on the downswing, that's for sure. They lose Deshaun Watson. The Texans are going to be a bad team for a while.
They might lose 17 in a row. They might be the first team to lose 17 games.
Yeah.
First season possible.
First team.
They're like, hey, y'all want to see some shit? Watch this. So yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, landing spots with these guys, but tight ends are always tough. But he's I like what I see with this film. He's,
yeah, my bad. I had the wrong.
He's pretty fast.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I do see a lot of Jordan Reed as minus concussions.
A traditional tight end, or he's lining up wide too as well.
No, yeah, he's more of like a space, like a Noah Fant. He's not as big as Noah Fant. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
But he's more like an
oversized wide receiver, but not like a not like a Fairmouth. We were saying 6'5", 6'6", 250 or whatever it was. So he's not a traditional tight end, but bigger than a receiver.
Yeah. Like you're not going to put a linebacker on him.
Yeah.
You're going to have to bring a safety down or do like a nickel corner. But that's why he's more physical than that. So I'm interested to see. Like I said, always root for the Vegas dudes. A couple Vegas guys got drafted this year, so that's kind of cool.
Bishop Gorman, what was his name? He played for the Steelers, a tight end. Xavier Grimble, yeah.
No, yep, he went to USC.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the last rookie tight end we're going to talk about. Kenny Yeboah.
Not my boy, Yeboah.
Yeboah.
So,
Yeboah.
I don't even remember how I stumbled on
Kenny
him.
Yeboah.
On this dude, but he literally reminds me of a poor man's Kyle Pitts. He just happens to have the same number.
Goes to the New York Jets.
Goes to him. I think it's a perfect landing spot. Like, same thing. New coaching regime, new everything. Zach Wilson actually likes his tight ends. And this dude literally, like I said, if I didn't know he's a tight end, I was like, this dude's a wide receiver. But his story is pretty interesting. He went to Temple for 4 years, and they didn't really use him until his last year, and he finally balled out because they didn't pass him the ball. So he transfers to Baylor to go with Matt Rule, who was at Temple. But then Matt Rule takes the Panthers job, so he backs out of Baylor and goes to Ole Miss. And he had 7 touchdowns in this shortened season and got invited to the Senior Bowl. But dude is fucking freakishly athletic. With him he just went to shitty schools where he didn't get to learn. But, he's behind one person, Chris Herndon, but with a new coaching staff. All they have to do is take a liking to him, and he could literally start week 1 if –
And I think we've given Chris Herndon enough chances.
Exactly. And it was more a Sam Darnold, but like I said, I love his size. He's obviously going to have to bulk up a little, but he's a fucking, like I said, he's a poor man's Kyle Pitts to me, and he went undrafted. And
I feel like we for so long have tried to make Chris Herndon a thing. We're just like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
She likes green apples.
it's gonna happen.
And it's like it just doesn't happen. So
she likes green apples.
So I just feel like, obviously he's a rookie. Herndon's, I guess you can call him a veteran now because he's been in the league for a couple years. But not the hardest person to kind of overtake for that starting position. Yeah. And like I said, you're coming in as a rookie with Zach Wilson. You kind of gain that rapport through rookie camp because, obviously only the rookies come to the rookie camp. So you're kind of learning that rapport and getting that chemistry built right off a jump before Zach Wilson even gets to kind of get that rapport with Chris Herndon.
Yeah.
So
and he played in the SEC, played good talent, and 7 touchdowns in 1 year. It just goes to show you what he could have done if he had gone to a better team than fucking Temple for 4 years. He could easily be top 3, top 4 rounds. But like I said, more landing spot. And I know Salah's all about competition, so he's gonna get a fair shot at taking the job. But dude, I just like what I saw, and that's Alabama. He's dusting.
You would take a chance in Dynasty with this guy?
I actually picked him up.
Yeah.
After the draft,
you could pick him up after the draft, probably. Right?
Oh yeah, nobody knew who he was. He wasn't even rated like the top 15 tight ends.
Super sleeper.
Super sleeper.
Hey,
he's not my boy.
Hey, he could be a guy.
He's your boy.
Hey, this guy. This guy could be someone who shows up like in the middle of the season. Say if Zach Wilson lights it up and starts doing all right. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I like him because Zach Wilson uses the tight end.
In redraft leagues, we could see him on the waiver wire possibly. This could be one of those guys.
I hope he pops for a lot of reasons, but hey, it's worth the shot. Tight ends, fuck.
Give it a shot. Try it out.
Try
Give
this.
Kenny a shot.
Try
Give
this.
Kenny a shot.
Try this.
I'll give you, boy.
Oh my
shot.
God, they killed Kenny.
I'll try this home back thing. Give this home back thing a shot.
Give him a shot. All right. Well, just
do
like
it.
that, we finished the rookie quarterbacks, rookie tight ends. Thanks for listening. This has been the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Link in the description down below. Watch Tyler make some freaking sweet content.
I'm a
over
creator,
there,
dude.
baby.
He's a content
Hey,
curator.
next episode, what do you guys say we do a little rookie dynasty draft, mock draft?
I'm
Ooh,
down.
I'm not mad at it.
We do a
I'm
little,
with it.
little rookie dynasty mock draft next episode.
Look forward
Give
to
you
it.
some knowledge. Come draft.
If you want to jump in on it with
Yeah,
us,
Leave a
Guadalajara.
comment.
hit us up, write in the comments.
DM us, whatever you
DM
gotta
us.
do.
If you want to jump in, a little rookie dynasty mock draft episode. So yeah, we're gonna need some people to fill up those spots. So yeah, if you want to get in on that, hit us up, and we'll pick a couple people to join in and jump in on that draft with us.
For sure. Thanks for listening. This has been the AVG Fantasy. Oh, yeah. Also, leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcast app. And then subscribe if you haven't already. Like, follow, share. Share this video, dude. Fucking,
honestly, share it with everyone and then let us know.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Appreciate you. And us big guys are out. Goodbye.
Big homies, we out.